Sports, 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 sports.
Hey there, sports fans. Welcome to Sportsball, part of the SPDM Crew podcast. We talk about sports-related topics, but we focus on you, the fan, and what you like, whether it's a sport, team, event, sports-related news, or athlete. This week, we are talking about the Boston Red Sox, and I have fellow podcaster coming in to talk about it, and also Red Sox fan, David St. Denis. David, welcome to the show. How's it going?
Doing well. Thank you very much for having me, and I'm happy to be part of the sports podcast for the first time in a long time. And yeah, go Red Sox.
Go Red Sox. Well, why don't we start there? How'd you become a Red Sox fan in the first place?
Simply being born in about, I don't know, I can't remember how far exactly Worcester is from Boston, but born in New England, and I just love going to Red Sox games since 2013, which I only been to a couple of games between 2013 and 2017, maybe. I can't remember how many exactly, but then I kept going to more. My first playoff game was in 2017 with Houston, game 3. That's when I saw Devers. Already thought this guy is going to be a star. I saw him hit that homer in game 3 of that ALDS, and I also was at the 2018 ALDS game 1. How I started to get into baseball is that, I been, in the hospital a lot in my life, and one day I had the Red Sox on. I think it was 2017 in the summer or something, and they were very good at the time. I just love the exciting moments that happens like in the bottom of the ninth at Fenway Park against the Yankees, walk off, home run, walk, whatever. I just love those type of moments, and that's how it got me into baseball.
For sure, because baseball has perhaps some of the greatest moments ever in sports where,
Yes.
you've got your bottom of the whether it's offense or defense as well, because a strikeout
Yeah.
sometimes is just as exciting as, a home run or a clutch hit to knock in the winning run. So that's kind of the nice thing about baseball is that there's just exciting moments and the rich history, which the Red Sox are definitely part of that rich history. And you're very lucky to be to be a Red Sox fan, for
Oh,
as
yeah.
as long as you have been, because since what, 2004, when the Red Sox broke
The year
their
after I was born.
yeah.
Yep.
So they've won 3 World Series since that time, or
4.
okay, gotcha. So
2004, 7, 13, 18.
Jesus. Yeah. So, I mean, Boston is
Yeah.
just kind of a title town lately. They've just been racking up wins left and right. So, seen a fair amount of success as a Red Sox fan over the last couple decades. So that's awesome. Now,
Yeah.
let's kind of fast forward a little bit to what we have going on now, which the big news for the Red Sox is they've signed Alex Bregman, which,
Hmm.
as a Cubs fan, I can be a little bitter about that, but also at the same time,
Oh,
fair is
yeah.
fair. Fair is fair,
Hmm.
like it's free agency, and the Cubs have been not exactly the best destination for players to go to, but what for you as a fan, what does this Alex Bregman signing kind of signal to you?
I've been watching him since he's been in Houston. I watch other baseball games too, and he was my favorite player on the Astros when I was watching the Astros from time to time when I was able to. And I just love his swing. He just has that perfect swing for Fenway Park, and I just grown up to love him as a player in Houston. When I saw that opportunity with him going to free agency, I said, I really hope the Red Sox get this player because this is exactly what they needed. Yes, people can talk about 2017, but what the Red Sox are at right now is need World Series championship experience
Mhm.
veterans. They've been struggling to be out of the playoffs since 2021. Yes, for some baseball fans, that could be nothing, but for us, we expect World Series or bust every single year. And
Mhm.
that's what Bregman is all about. In his press conference, he said that we're winning 5 times in the first minute or so.
Mhm.
And that is exactly what we need is a presence to fire up the clubhouse like he did in spring training. He had a home run earlier today, Fort Myers, and if he keeps doing that, and also another thing that we need help with Trevor Story being hurt in the past few years, is real good defense. If we could get both the Bregman along with being a healthy Bregman, we could be a playoff championship team. Now, I'm not saying we are going to go to the World Series because there's still a lot of work to do, and not as to get to the playoffs, or at the very least, a winning record, I'll be satisfied.
So last year, the Red Sox, they finished 81 and 81, third in
Yeah.
the American League East. How did you feel? So, how do you feel about this team going into spring training, and how are you feeling about their prospects this season?
Well, going into that, anyone has a nice taste in your mouth because it's not a losing record season yet again. It's not the same record 3 times in a row like we had back to back years. 78 or something, I can't remember what. And with the prospects, that can only help Worcester and Portland. They are very exciting to talk about, but the thing is that it's actually a very good thing too after thinking about it, because what if someone gets injured? We have depth in the minor leagues. And if it's too much, we can trade it for some pitching, because pitching is what exactly we need in Boston, over the past few years. So I'm always scared about the injuries because ever since Trevor Story, ever since other players get injured in spring training in the past, at least I'm comfortable knowing that we have guys in the minor leagues that can help us, like a Bond Grissom. Campbell might be even making the opening day roster. You never know, because that's been the hot topic with the Devers drama and everything. So we'll see how things go. We have we have many great prospects that we've grown in love, and it's gonna be very interesting to see how the front office takes this for the rest of spring training, because trades can happen at any time. I just hope that we have enough depth in Worcester and possibly Portland to help us in case there's an emergency.
Is there anything that you're particularly concerned about going into this season?
Injuries.
Well, yeah, injuries for sure.
Yeah.
That's always a big concern.
Yeah, because Lucas Churino, it's hard to pronounce his last name, but he was our 2024 ace signing, I guess, with Chris Silgon, and he got hurt in spring training. We have a Walker Brewer who, yes, thrown the last pitch of the World Series, more World Series experience, but he had Tommy John surgery before that. We also have Trevor Story, who, I guess, got hurt in Los Angeles. People call it Anaheim, but I don't know which one is which. He got hurt on a diamond play. And right now, Crawford might have to have surgery, and maybe Bello may need to do some rehabbing in Worcester. So there's many things going on right now that is my main concern. But my main concern without the injuries part is the defense. The defense is the most important thing because we gave up a lot of unearned runs last year. If we slow that down, at least half of that, we'll be just fine.
So, of all the teams in the American League East, who do you think is probably the biggest threat to the Red Sox? Yankees are an easy answer because
Yeah.
they're arch rival, but anybody else in the AL East, or even just all of baseball that you're kind of worried about?
What everybody's going to say is Dodgers for the National League, of course. But
For
for the
sure.
American League, that's actually a very tricky question. But
Hmm.
if it's not the Yankees, I think it's gonna be a hot take, but the Blue Jays. The reason why I say the Blue Jays is because they kill us every single year in the critical moments. So, and they just keep doing stuff that stops our season. So if we just keep beating, I think the whole American East is a threat. If we win 95%, 90 to 95% of the games in the AL East, then that is a playoff team.
Yeah, for sure. And you're absolutely right about everybody is nervous about the Dodgers because they're the Dodgers.
Yeah.
They're spending the most money out there. They're signing the top talent, and yeah, for sure. So other than the Red Sox, what else are you looking forward to about this upcoming baseball season? Because we're recording this, kind of the tail end of February, so I'll
Yeah.
probably releasing this before the baseball season starts. But what do other than Red Sox baseball, what else are you looking forward to seeing this upcoming year for baseball?
Well, still here, Otani pitching, it has been a hot topic story. We'll see if they're going to even allow him to pitch, if it's a star or a reliever. Juan Soto's contract is going to be a hot topic. I think it's going to start being talked about a lot more when it comes to April and May because he could struggle and people will talk bad about it. So that's going to be interesting. And also another one for my top three, Mike Trout. He is coming out potentially healthy right now, but he could get hurt at any time because of his back issues or whatever he has. So if he can, we all hope he can stay healthy, but at the same time, I don't think it won't matter because the Angels have, they've signed a lot of interesting guys who have been hurt a lot, but hasn't been good before. I don't know how that's gonna work out. Like also, they signed Jansen
Mm.
from us, so that's gonna be interesting core of guys. But and by the way, Anthony Rendon is not gonna be coming back to baseball anytime soon. I think, in my opinion. So
No.
Mike Trout is his own man. I think.
Yeah, for sure. And with the recent news that he's looking to switch to right field instead of
To
center
right field, correct? Yeah.
instead of center field, shows that he's at least trying to do more to not get injured, but
Yes.
you're right at this point. His back has been injured so many times in his, Hall of Fame worthy career that it's
Yeah.
it's going to be very hard for him to stay on the field. And I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a tough call because I've always loved Mike Trout as a player. It's just,
Same.
it's just very sad what's happened to him so far.
And And if that doesn't work in right field, I'll just say stick him at DH
Hmm.
because who do they really have as a threat at the DH spot? Nobody. So
No.
the only good other player they have is looking Hopi. That's all I can think of right now. And also, Transcend could be a better closer too. But that's all the good Angels players I can think of right now. They don't have a very good farm system either too. People think, oh, if you lose a bunch of games then your farm system will get back up track. Well, here's the thing: look at the Angels, and plus the Dodgers have a good farm system too, and they win all the time. It's all a matter of who are you going to trade for to get that farm system from that team to
Hmm.
come to your team down below in the farm. So it's not just about losing to get that prospect to keep building up those minor league teams like the Red Sox have. It's all about who do you trade for to get that prospect, and eventually that will start adding up in the farm.
No, good call out with that. So, last question I have for you before we wrap up. So, taking a look at the composition of the team now, with the exception of, pitching, starting pitching, which you've kind of mentioned, and Alex Bregman, who are you looking to this year as somebody who needs to have a really great season or somebody that you think is posed to have a pretty good season this year?
A guy who really needs a good season so bad is Tristan Casas. He is our first baseman, but he's been having a little bit of an attitude recently, thinking about he's the guy who calls the shots. I'm not I'm not saying that as being disrespectful to him because he is a unique individual and I like the guy, but he's also weird at the same time with certain things that I don't like. But that's his own thing, and he's been having a lot of issues with that with the media, and also Cora with it too. I feel like there's something going on between them. One, if he has a really good season, like everybody, he had a really good second half of 2023. If he can get back to that form for the full season, then that would be our first baseman for the future, and that is a guy who really needs to have a good year. Otherwise, he's gonna get traded somewhere, like the Red Sox had tried to this offseason.
Awesome. So I guess I do have one last question for you. Give
Yeah.
me give me season prediction. What do given everything that you know this year and knowing full well that it's a long season, Lots of things could happen from a trade perspective, and lots of things could happen from an injury perspective. Because you mentioned before that injuries are
Hmm.
already starting to pile up, and there's concern there. And random things happen in baseball because it's a long season. To you, as a Red Sox fan, minus the World Series or bust, which that's completely fair for a team like the Red Sox, who they've had some championship success in the 21st century, and they're expected to keep up with some of the baseball blue bloods out there. So for you, what would be a prediction for a record for you this upcoming year that you'd be somewhat happy with?
For what I'm happy with, just get to the playoffs. We've been waiting for 3 years. It's like a long chapter that is not ended, and I just really hope we can get back to the playoffs because we haven't been there since 2021, and we just need those playoffs back in Boston. And I really hope with our leadership guys in the clubhouse, they can help us get there. And I trust in my manager, Alex Cora, who got extended last year. If he can do his A game for all year, we'll be just good enough to get to playoffs, which I really hope we do because Boston right now at Fenway Park is starving for playoff baseball more than ever, I think.
For sure. Well, best of luck to the Red Sox this
Oh,
year,
yeah.
and hopefully it will be a happy season for you. So, David, appreciate your time. Thanks so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming on, and sticking with this. We've had to reschedule a couple times, mainly my fault. So
Yeah,
I
it's
apologize
okay.
about that. David, where can the people find you, and is there anything that you want to plug?
Go check out the YouTube channel I own. It's called the Network 3000 without the but it's Network 3000. I have my friends collaborate on there, and I do a show on there called Jared Dallas Hangouts, which is on Friday nights at 10:30 and Sundays at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, where I just basically interview people, do some games, sports talk, and there are also hangout sessions too. So anybody's welcome to join if you know me. And it's a structured program. I mean, not a structured program where everybody can have fun and be themselves. And there's no restrictions for that. You just got to be a real person and be respectful. So that's what I do twice a week. And hopefully, when the springtime comes, I'll be able to add more sports segments here and there when playoff and baseball comes.
Awesome stuff. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. We'll be sure to link all of your shows and your YouTube channel to the episode
Yeah.
notes, and then when we tag you on this. So, best of luck. Looking
Yeah.
forward to chatting with you more as baseball season progresses, and
Oh, yeah.
maybe doing a mid-season check-in on how the Red Sox are doing, based
Yeah.
on how everything's going.
And if you want to come on my show from time to time to talk about the Cubs, you're more than welcome to because I need a National League reporter, as it were. So, from a team, that is,
All right.
you know.
Yeah, yeah. We'll for sure set that up. So,
Okay.
appreciate your time, and thanks a lot.
Welcome.
That's going to do it for this episode of Sportsball. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew, wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Check out our website at SPDM. Shout out to High Flyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you have any marketing, logo, or brand standard needs, contact them at highflyercreative.com. Check out our other shows on the podcast network. We've got shows about movies, TV, music. We've got shows about physical media collections. We've got shows about comic books. So check out all the other shows on our network, and we greatly appreciate the support. And if you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, pain heals, chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever.